fly a million miles away somewhere, just me and you. Can we go MIA somewhere far from this bush? Let's fly a million miles away somewhere, just me and you. I don't care where we go, as long as so far, so far, so far from here. It's about time I took a little trip.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big Maul here with another episode of Get It Together with Big Maul, starring me, Jamal, Big Maul, Molly Maul, Jay, whatever it is that you want to call me. I go by many names, but nonetheless, we back with another episode. Hope you guys were able to celebrate Mother's Day with your moms or your mother figures. My prayers are with you if you no longer have your mother here. In life, if she's gone on to heaven, my prayers are with you. Hope you were able to at least celebrate her remembrance and and be able to connect with her. So, my prayers are with you. But, for me, my Mother's Day, my mother's Mother's Day and my wife's Mother's Day, she had to work. My wife had to work, but me and my daughter went to church with my mom. And I ended up cooking dinner and baking a lemon cake that my wife requested. And it came out pretty good. It came out pretty good. If you follow me on social media, then you definitely saw me repost it, what she said about it. So it was very good cake. And now I feel like I want to bake more cake now. That's my second time baking a cake for someone. I baked a chocolate cake for my mom's birthday. I baked her a chocolate cake. So we're going to get into my baking bag. You know what I'm saying? But church was awesome. Enjoyed the Mother's Day. Hope you did as well. And again, if your mother's no longer here, I pray for you. My hearts are with you. And, nonetheless, man, hope you guys have been well, though. Hope you guys been blessed. Hope you guys been doing your thing. Hope you had an incredible week last week. And let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Unshakable faith, unmovable faith. Stronger, wiser, tougher, unbothered. All of these different phrases or words that can just kind of coincide with just being someone that is a irresistible force. And I'm not meaning a force as to where you're like immortal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying in terms of just someone that no matter what life throws at you, no matter who tries to sabotage you, no matter how many times the devil tries to throw obstacles in your way, you are pivoting around it. You are making a way to get around it. All of the storms that you walk into, you still stand tall. Even if you may get knocked down, but you get back up because you know who you are, you know your purpose, and you know who you serve, and you are always equipped. Okay, understand me. You are always equipped to handle anything that comes your way. If you are not, and I talk about this a lot, if you don't have a connection with God, or if you do and you need or want to strengthen it, now is the time to strengthen that connection, man. Now is the time. And I'm not gonna lie. I grew up in the church, going to church every other Sunday. Sometimes, more than twice a month. Because I was in the choir and we would have to go to other churches sometimes because we got invited. And as a kid, sometimes you don't want to go. You want to stay home. You want to play with your friends or whatever, watch TV. And as an adult, as I got older, I kind of got away from going to church. And part of it was my fault because, I want to say, I won't even say part of it. I want to say wholeheartedly, 100% of it was my fault because I focused on the things that I saw or conversations that I heard, and things I heard word of mouth from other people that was going on in the church. And I was like, this is supposed to be a holy place. This is supposed to be a place where I think I put people on a pedestal to where they were supposed to be perfect and they weren't supposed to do any wrong. And, people were doing wrong. And I felt like, why am I going to church with these people that are judgmental, they're hypocritical, they're doing all these different, nasty, terrible things behind people's backs and et cetera, et cetera. Not, I don't want to get too deep into it, but, I'm getting back on that path. I can feel myself getting back on that path of just going to church and realizing that it's not about what the people do around you. It's not about what you see, what you hear. It's about what you gain from going to church. You know, listening to the sermon, singing songs, just feeling the Lord's presence inside of His house, and rejoicing. And you know, like I said, when you hear the message, if you know you receive that message, it may be something you need to hear, and um, that's what church is about, and just praising God, and um, just wanting to get back to that. So I encourage everyone to just get a closer relationship to God, whether it is if you're going to church or you're praying or reading the scripture, or just thanking Him, you know, every day, every time you wake up. The things that we take for granted, just waking up the next day, getting to and from work safely, back home, and being able to have food on the table and clothes on your back, shoes on your feet, et cetera, et cetera. But we don't even think about the facts that He's bringing us through so many trials and tribulations. You can look and see different things that people are going through, and it could easily be you. And some things that you can relate to that you see someone go through, and then there's things that you cannot relate to. At least not yet. You haven't experienced what they're going through, and you gotta thank God that you aren't them, that you aren't going through that. But you also need to be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for your blessings. Be grateful for just having a roof over your head. Just all these things that we take for granted because we get used to it. We get accustomed to having these things. When they can be taken away, sometimes it's premature. We don't mean to take these things for granted, but we get comfortable. We get used to it. We get settled in into our day-to-day life, and then we're like, not just not being as appreciative as we once were. You ever get that new car? You ever work towards a new car? You set your sights on a new car. You may not have a specific car in mind, but you tell yourself, "I'm going to get me a new car." I'm tired of riding to work with coworkers or friends or family members and having to catch rides, having to Uber here and there, and spending this money. I'm going to work towards a car, and then you save up enough money. You go to the dealership. You get a car that you can afford, and you're happy for a moment. And then you get used to that car after a couple of months, and you're not as thankful for it. You don't take as much care of it, and it just becomes something that you just kind of think it's a given, but it's not. Your car can break down. Tell me about it, because if you know me, I have had my troubles with cars. I just had um a problem recently with my vehicle, but I'm gonna table that for a minute. I'm gonna touch on that in a minute. But we get used to just having things where that we worked for, and then after a while we don't appreciate them as much. So we got to keep continuing to appreciate the things that we work for and that God gave us the strength to work for, and He saw to it that we got that blessing. You know what I'm saying? And you may not get a brand new 2025 vehicle. You may not get that brand new house on the lot, but at the end of the day, you got somewhere to lay your head at night. You got a vehicle to get you to and from work, and be able to conduct and handle your business. And it's amazing and it feels great. You got to be thankful and appreciative. Got to express gratitude, and then express gratitude for your friends, people that are in your life, people that you may go months without talking to, but it's no hard feelings, and they're always there for you. And you got to remember that people have their own lives, but just be thankful for the people that you do have in your life. I don't care if it's 1, 2, or 3, 4 people. It may not be a large group of people. Be thankful. But that's all I want to say about that. But yeah, unshakable faith, unmovable faith, man. We go through so much, and I feel like it's easy to throw in the towel, especially these days, because we can measure ourselves up to social media and people that we see doing the same exact things that we do, or going for, and you see them achieve it. It could be our friend, someone we know, or we went to school with. It could be someone that is trending and they're doing the same thing, and they've achieved the thing that you're working towards, and you're like, dang, when am I going to make it? Am I ever going to make it? And they may be younger than you, and you're like, is my window closing? Is it over for me? And then you start questioning your entire existence. You like, am I even good enough to even have that? Am I good enough to obtain that? Am I good enough to be anything or anybody? And then you start not being happy with yourself. You start looking at other things like, man, I don't look good. I feel like I'm fat. Oh, I feel like I'm I'm, so out of shape. Oh man, my hair doesn't look the same. Oh, my skin. We started thinking about all these different things. I don't like my clothes, the way my clothes fit. I don't like my car. I don't like the way my car drives. I don't like my car. I don't like my house. It's not. Comparison is a thief of joy. We wasn't even worried about any of that stuff until we saw someone that we deemed that have it better than us, and then we start comparing ourselves to that person. Then we compare ourselves to just more and more people, and we become more and more frustrated with our lives and more unhappy with our lives. And it's very, 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 very addicting if you do not get out of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? We can't compare ourselves to other people, man. And that's a storm. That storm will come comparison. That's a storm. That is a storm that can come and it can knock you down, and it can knock the wind out of you, because a lot of people, they don't know how to get out of that mindset of comparing themselves to other people. We have to get back to remembering our purpose. We have to get back to loving ourselves and looking in the mirror and being happy with who we are, where we are, how far we have made it, and just focus on that path and stay on that journey to who we are trying to become, where we're trying to end up at. And not looking at the timeline, not worrying about how long it's going to take us, because some people have a shorter timeline than others, and we can't compare our timelines to someone else's. We can be happy for them, we can rejoice with them, and then we can continue to work on ourselves and use it as motivation and inspiration, because if they did that, then I can do this. um no matter what I'm going through, because we don't know what that next person just went through. We don't know what that person just went through that we're clapping for. We don't know, the sleepless nights and all the silent cries and the wanting to give up and comparing themselves to others, just like you are doing. We don't know any of the battles that they fought on the way to their success, but they didn't quit. And that's what separates someone who's going to get something and who's not. Are you going to quit? Are you going to give up? Are you going to be the one that uses excuses because you feel like you're mid 30s and now life is over? Your life is just beginning. I feel great. I'm 31, about to be 32 next month. I feel great. I feel like I'm in good health. I feel like I'm in great shape. My mindset is very, very clear. I don't have any drama in my life. I don't have any he say, she say. I have none of that stuff in my life. And I am walking in my purpose, and I'm also just focusing more and more on me and not worrying about what the next person has going on. If I see someone achieve something, I clap for them, be happy for them, and then I continue to just work on me. I mind my business. I mind my business, and I continue to have a clean slate, and that's what helps me. That's what helps me succeed, because I don't have things that's going to throw me off. Now I do have, people that's going to throw me off, but I do have obstacles. Like, for instance, like I said a little earlier, I was on my way to work. I think Wednesday. Yeah, got up at 4 a.m. Went to the gym, got my morning session, my workout in. Had a good workout. I go to work. I get halfway to work. Not even halfway. I get to work, y'all. I get to. There's two speed bumps before you get to the gate where I work at to check in to scan your badge. I get over. I get to that first speed bump. I look at my dash. I see the red battery icon lit up, and I'm like, okay, never. I've had this car for um 3 years, or no, I've had this car for 2 years. Have not seen this icon pop up on my dash. Maybe it's telling me I need a new battery. I mean, it's a battery. The battery icon is lit up, so I'm like, okay, need a new battery. Okay, get over that second speed bump. Okay, I get to the point where I get to where I'm scanning my badge. I press the button to let my window down. My window's not going down. I'm like, no way. No way. Okay, so I open my door up, still trying not to panic. Give my badge to the guard, and I'm like, hey, my window won't go down for whatever reason. Can you scan my badge? Scans my badge. Close my door. Y'all, I go to pull off, and I'm not getting any power. My car shuts off. I'm able to just roll maybe like 100 feet from the gate, and I pull over into the grass, and that's it. I'm not getting anything. And I'm like, there's no way. And I had a dream earlier in the week. about me getting in my car and my car not starting. Lo and behold, this is what happens in reality. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, and in the dream, I was frustrated. But I feel like God was preparing me for reality, obviously, and to just not be frustrated. He showed it to me for a reason. This isn't the first time I've had an issue with my car since I've had this. I'm like, okay, at least I'm at work. Okay, number one, at least I'm at work. At least I'm not at home and now I need to ride all the way from my house. I'm at work. Let's think rationally. So I call a coworker. This is how God works. I call a coworker. He's not too far behind me coming in. So I tell him the situation, ask him if he can give me I ask him if he has jumper cables. He doesn't have any jumper cables. So he's on standby just in case I can't get my car cranked. And I need a ride to go clock in. So he parks a little in front of me. Security comes. He comes with the jump box. He hooks it up. I go to crank my car. It cranks up for a second, but it is not powering up the way that it's supposed to be. It's very weak. He takes off the jump box. It shuts off completely, automatically. He puts it back on. This time it's barely getting anything. So I'm like, wow. It's Thursday. This what was it? Was it Thursday? It was Thursday morning. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Okay, all right, calm down, Maul. So I get in contact with tow truck people. I'm like, hey guys, I'm here on base. Can you just please just go ahead and tow my truck to the dealership? And then they called me when they got there. I paid them the towing fee and whatever the case is. And then I called my boss and they came. They picked me up. I didn't want my coworker to be late, so I was like, I'll just call the office, come pick me up. You're already sitting here. Go ahead, go clock in. I call the office. They come pick me up, and I go about my day. On my lunch break, I get my wife to come get me. So I went ahead and took her back home. Drove her car back to work. Her boss took her to work. Meanwhile, thankfully, so I go to work and just make it through my day. I find out the parts that I needed, get the parts, and the next day I had my car back. By the time I got off work Friday, I had my car back, and I held my composure. I got a little frustrated because I'm like, now I gotta spend some money, but it's like, thank God you got the money. Thank God that you have your priorities in order to be able to have these emergency funds just in case something happened. Because what if you didn't have the mindset? What if you didn't have the money? What if you didn't have this job to be able to even make this money? It's so on and so forth. So you wouldn't have had this. You would maybe have to borrow it, or you would have to wait until you get paid. And then now you and your wife are operating off one vehicle. So it's like so many different things, but the pieces are always in order because God always aligns everything in order. And shouts out to the people that stopped by and checked on me when they saw me, when they were passing through on the way to work. They were passing through and they were like asking me if I need to ride and stuff. Appreciate y'all. Even the people asking me after the fact, was I good? Appreciate y'all again. But I said all of that. I told that story just to say this. I could have allowed that to continue to. I could have allowed it to ruin my day. I could have gotten upset. I could have took it out on my work. I could have took it out on my coworkers. I could have took it out on my wife. I could have took it out on my mom because I told my mom what was going on. I could have took it out on my daughter. And I could have just allowed something negative that was happening. Really wasn't in my control. I could have let that consume me and allow me to act out of character and lose focus on just breathing, praying, and having faith and controlling what I could control. And just, allowing things to happen because at this point, there's nothing you can do, and you just step by step, little by little, and you do what you can do. And I could have let that, just one little situation take a whole nother turn and another spin. And like I said, I could have allowed it to ruin my entire day, but I didn't. I looked on the bright side. Hey, I'm at work. Hey, I definitely have a lot of people that can pick me up. At least I am at work. At least I am at work, and I can still clock in. I can still work. I have money to be able to pay for whatever I need to pay for. And no matter how long it may take, I'm thinking I'm not going to get my car back until the next week. I get my car back the next day. So many different insight that I have that I acquired and was able to just think of on the fly. And like I said, prayer works, taking a beat works, and just breathing, letting it come, letting it go. And that's what life is about. Life is going to throw you curveballs, and some of them you can't escape. Some of them you can't see coming. Some of them you can't see coming, and it can be your fault because you didn't do something, or you did too much of something. You neglected this, you neglected that, and some things you just can't some things you just can't control. But then there are things that you can control, and that's your reaction, that's your emotions, that's your that's your the way you respond to adversity and challenges and obstacles, the way you respond to them. Because you can get angry and not only take out your aggression and your emotions on other people, you're going to be wasting time holding and harboring emotions and lashing out, because now you're not being strategic, you're not thinking properly, you're not planning out the next move, you're just too upset about what's going on. It's already happened, and it's not going to change anything that you're upset. And you can understand why you're upset, and people can understand, or they cannot. But 9 times out of 10 people can understand why you're upset. But it's like, okay, you're upset, understand, but it's already happened. What you gonna do now? What's the next move? Calm down. A lot of people don't know how to just calm down and figure out the next move and go from there. You make better decisions when you have emotional intelligence and you're able to just take a step back, look at the problem, assess the problem, and then figure out where you're going to go from there. You make better decisions, and you always pray and you always talk to God. Because if you don't, and if you just allow yourself to get just so out of character, get so upset, get so distraught, man, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. You already set yourself up for a disaster. You already have this going on. You already have this going on. There's no point in getting your blood pressure raised up. There's no point of starting arguments with people who are either just trying to help you, whether they're doing that physically helping you, or they're just there for you to vent, or complete strangers. And that energy just comes back to you. You got enough problems already. Solve the problem the best way that you can. And just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. A lot of people have ruined opportunity because of their emotions. A lot of people have given up on something because of their emotions, because of failure, because of falling, because of mishaps, because of mistakes. They have lost out on opportunity, all because of them falling down, all because of them not knowing how to handle themselves. A lot of people have burned bridges with people that were just simply sent there to bless them, because they don't know how to handle their emotions. They don't know how to choose their words wisely. They don't know how to control their actions. Those opportunities come, and the reason why I call them opportunities is because they're just that. Whenever an obstacle arises in our lives, we should view it as an opportunity to be able to handle it in the best way possible, as opposed to the way that we used to handle them. Let's see if we've graduated to a new level of emotional maturity and emotional intelligence, and let's see how we can utilize that and incorporate it into working it out in our favor. Because then we'll look back and be proud of ourselves, because like I'm proud of myself for not getting just overwhelmed last Thursday. I'm proud of myself because years ago I would have been so upset. I would have called my mom yelling, or called my wife yelling, and possibly took out on my coworkers and not doing my job to the best way that I know I can, because I'm upset. And just you got to handle things better. You got to be unmovable, unshakable, unbothered. You got to be this force that No matter what the devil tries to throw at you, you are fully equipped because God has got your back, and you just put on that armor that he provides you with, that safety, that comfort, that trust, that faith, that peace, that protection. You put that on, and you just go out. You go out in your day, and no matter what the devil throws at you, you are fully equipped. You got it. You got it. And when you come to a situation, when you arrive to a situation, um, that requires you to take a step back and think, analyze it, take your emotions out of it, breathe, calm down, and then make your decisions step by step by step. That's all I want to talk about, y'all. With y'all today, man. Have an amazing week. Be blessed. Don't let it be mundane. Okay? Hit that gym and drink your water, eat your fruits and your veggies, move your body. Praise God, talk to God. And follow your boy Jamal Butler on all social media platforms. Okay, follow me, repost, share, like, comment, hit me up. Let's talk, let's chat. Follow the podcast on whatever's outlet that you're listening to it on. Follow the boy, tap in with me. Share this episode, share past episodes. Just lock me in, man. I appreciate you guys from near, far, wide, close. Hey, man, y'all are my family. I appreciate you guys so much. Go out here and be unshakable, unmovable, unbothered. Be a force. Okay? Do not let these situations, no matter what the situation is, beat you down. Okay? Do not be. Please realize that you're fully equipped. Fully equipped. I don't know who this message is for, but it will be received by who it's supposed to be received by. Okay? So, talk to y'all next week. I love y'all so much, man. Thanks for rocking with me. And I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.